Hi everyone, Rachel here. We're continuing on our whole shebang Photoshop action bundle, one by one video tutorial of all the action sets inside this bundle set for you guys. So we are going to be doing artistic touches right now. I'm going to be working on an image of the French postcard image that I worked on at Creative Live. So I'm just going to go through and show you guys one by one what they do. You'll see that these shortcut keys depict my personal favorite actions that I rely on for my images. I'll show you Urban Burn. These I typically like to use for when I'm shooting a client outside. Got some really cool urban background, an alley or something like that. But you can see what it's doing here, how it's burning it in. Actually, I kind of like that a lot. Okay, and we'll do Urban Glow. And it does the opposite, it just brings the brightness up. And you can play around with it. There are certain other actions in this action, the powerhouse actions do call on these. You can play around with them, see if you like them. So Dreamy, paint over face. So we're going to paint over the face here. The action ends here. And the reason for that is I like people to be able to use their smart filters. So you can go in and you can go change it to however strong or soft you want the effect to be. And then when you want to paint away, you have to go to the mask. So I will typically do like details. I'll paint over that. Give Me Depth. It's like a digital hug. It's one of my favorites. Glamour Glow. It's going to make this guy more of a glow. Oops. So paint over face and other details. And you can go in and you can play around with the blending modes yourself and see if, you know, what you like. Oops. This is one of those actions where you can really play around and find something to your taste. Define edges. I use this a lot. It's going to go in, it's going to find the edges of the image, and it's going to define them for you. You can see that. Really powerful, awesome, automated action. And burn and dodge like it's your job. So we're ending here on the dodge tool. And what you're going to do is you're going to about 20% make sure protect tones. We're on mid-tones here. And when you start to paint, you're going to have the, it's going to dodge, which means it's going to bring the lights out. Now, instead of having to change your tool to the dodge tool, all you have to do is hold down your Alt key and it'll automatically change that to the burn tool. So I'm just holding my Alt key down, and you can go in and I'm hitting I'm going where all the shadows are to really bring those in and define her arms. I love the shadow in her arm there. Go in and define in here. This is great to do on headshots. You can get in there and really define their jawline, down their nose, contour, and you can slim without ever having to change their body at all. No liquify, no lasso tool. All it is contouring, just like someone would do with makeup. And you can go on your details and do the same thing. Just kind of see where you like it. Different layers give different effects. And then your master opacity. And then we've got blur. There we go. Just very subtle. Just want a little subtlety here. Okay, blurred vignette. It's going to kind of just vignette that down a little. I've already got this pretty vignetted, so it's very subtle. Pop color. That really pops the color. You want to bring it down to 0 and then kind of pull it up and see where you like it. Let's say, for example, I hate everything except the background. And you just Control I. And there you go. Okay, color boost. Now some of you may be asking, well, why isn't this in color and exposure? And the reason for that is these particular actions I personally like in the artistic touches, because as you're going through the different steps and all the different categories, you can start to lose your color. And I like to just do a little touch up sometimes in here, but only, oh, that's nice. Only targeted. So I don't want it to affect the whole thing, just certain areas. And then I have a warm color cast, which is going to cast off warm. And this is really nice for what we're doing here. And I just want to, oops, I'm going to make a mask here and then just kind of pop off here over her skin. That's real nice. And then we have enrich, which is just going to kind of enrich the image tonally. So you see there, it's just enriching it, kind of making it moodier, which I like. And we have blast the noise, which is, if it gets a little too noisy, you can just play this one and it'll smooth that noise right out. So you can see that. Kind of gives you a painterly look. So we're going to do glow shadows, and what that's going to do, it's going to find your shadows and make them glow. This particular image, I don't like it. Delete that. So we have a little sheen. So it's just going to give your image just a little sheen, almost kind of like the way that the Give Me Depth kind of gives that digital hug. A little sheen does that at a little bit of a subtler output. Shadow punch. It's just going to go in and punch those shadows. A bit of drama. It's going to make it a little more dramatic just by punching in the shadows a little bit and popping those highlights. And we've got our shadow lift. So this ends in a mask, so we want to go in and kind of pull the shadows out from what's just gotten a little too dark. And Siren Dream. It's a nice blurry, moody, spotlighty action. And we've got rotate, crop, edge fill. So I'm going to show you guys what that does. So we're going to set the selection. So if we go to the eyedropper tool and then we go to ruler, let's say we want to, let's duplicate the layer. Let's say we want to change this just a little bit. And then we go rotate, arbitrary, okay. So that's going to change this. Now this is all wonky. So if we go to crop front image and we want to there we go. We want to fill that image, but say we want it there and we still have, you know, this stuff on the side. Okay, so I want to rotate this. And crop fill it. So what Photoshop's doing is I'm asking it to fill those edges. So I rotated it, we had those white edges, and all I did was play the action, and Photoshop filled it in for me. Done and done. And then there's the revert to original, which I had to restart my computer so it wouldn't work right on this one. But if when you're working and you mess up, if you want to just revert to the original, you can always run this action. It'll take us back to our before we did the rotate. So that is it for Artistic Touches. Thank you. Please like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Rachel Stevens Photography for Women. Stevens is with a PH. Don't forget to check out our Creative Live course. If you open up your README PDF in your whole Shebang action folder that you got with download, there is a link to our class and also to our post book. Thank you so much.